This is the Epic Morning Show. They come to you live here on Epic Radio 99.3 FM. You also watch me live on Sleek TV channel 37, also live on Facebook. So Melvin, last week we were here as well. Whilst we looked through the SLPP manifesto. It's been almost a week now, and then the APC manifesto is out. If you say live up to the hype that people were expecting with the details that you've seen so far.
That's good morning. That's not a very complex question. If you live up to the hype, that we have to talk about the context, the content, and we have to advance with the context, and we have to do a comparison. But so far, if you live up to the hype, I think people and still get enough time for read them and study them and put them into right perspectives. But however, I think if we should hear this morning, firstly, the APC owe the people of Sierra Leone an explanation, if not an apology, as to why the delay or this almost a seeming belated announcement or publication of the manifesto. But that as it may, and thankfully somebody very competent for able to tell me that, it shows that themselves gets thematic focus. However, it looks so much impregnated if we ever come to them case by pillar by pillar. Apparently, you see there is a clear promise. It's not lacking in promises. And in other areas, it's also not lacking in implementation approach. But in most of the cases, that's our aspect is not clearly explained. And as we can go through them, we'll go see them. Unfortunately, today they go through the orthodox means and not digital, as the manifesto promise digitalization. But of course, I get me usual journalistic notes. And if you look at them, definitely it shows that the APC, yes, get their own way of going about it. And then at some point, they're clear about how they want to go about it. But at many other points, they are not too clear as to how they want to go about it, where the resources go come up for let them go about it, and whose institution they intend for go about it. And also the approach, whether in some cases they tell you about legal reform, in other cases they tell you about policy and measure reforms. So you will see some clarity at some points, and some other points you will see elements of rhetoric.
Let me come to you, Mikhailo. Before we even come to the substance of what Tuna launched yesterday, a lot of people wonder whether there is a much more comprehensive version of this document really explaining the how and so many other parts, and a lot of people want to know.
Good morning, Epic. Good morning, Fritonians and Sierra Leoneans. I'm glad for the opportunity granted to the All People's Congress to be here for me we talk on with Manifesto. I want to thank you first to everybody. We make a point of duty for participate with Wina Lagunda and the one that we've been there all over the place, Aberdeen, Lumley, Tego, Atuga, and the one in the Eastern. We come out in the numbers for grace the Manifesto launching, and we launch of we campaign in our Western region. Yes, the one we did in circulation and a abridged version of the manifesto, we mean saying just a summary where you see about 10, pillars, but we get a detailed manifesto. We go there out today. It go there in circulation, soft copy go there, hard copies go be made available to journalists, and every Sierra Leonean go able access them. We get for publisher online. I mean, when you say manifesto, this now a document, a policy document, in which political parties then they put waiting and go can't do if they give them the opportunity for serve. So as a political party, waiting will make the people assess we and be convinced about voting Dr. Samura Kamara to a large extent. Now waiting and go see inside our manifesto. So we go do ourselves a disservice if we not publish a comprehensive manifesto.
Okay, let me now go to some of the pillars. I want to start with job creation, because that's something which is really big and a lot of people have been paying attention to it. USA specifically want for create then jobs there in the economy, because this is an economy where a lot of businesses they struggle. In fact, more and more businesses they look not for hire people. So what will be different under the Samura Kamara administration where we suddenly able to create jobs for people?
Well, the world over, government cannot create far too many jobs. Yeah, the only thing where government go do, you go create some jobs. Maybe you go get institutions that win a public-private partnership. You get companies that will go come in where government go partner with for able employ qualified Sierra Leoneans them. But again, one way for create job, now any country now for make the enabling environment attractable You know, in the sense that a lot of investors go come in, establish companies, and able employ Sierra Leoneans, and that's one thing we will do. And one way for do that, then for address the tax system. More often than not, companies, they know they can operate in a certain country because of one, the tax system. If it's very difficult for them, I mean, then they find it very difficult. But in a case, USA, you create the enabling environment, give concessions to companies, they will come and establish and employ Sierra Leoneans. That's one. Two, we get for look at SMEs, small and medium.
Quickly on that tax issue,
yes.
I've heard Samara Kama, I think in a VOA interview, he talks say, he want to see how they make sure say the country not to rely on donor, which means a lot of local revenue has to be raised. But if you are now talking about possibly cutting taxes, who's not going to forget that money there?
Yeah, well, waiting Dr. Samura Kamara tell you not to rely on donor. Any country where 100% way to a very large extent rely on donor, where you come to even paying salaries to you staff them or government workers them, you get for rely on borrowing, like how it happen now. Every other 2 weeks, government they borrow for pay salaries. You see, there was a point before the twin shocks. It take a year, we not borrow no money, we pay out of the money they generate. When Dr. Kalfala Mara was Minister of Finance.
That generation is tax.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. So that is what I'm saying. Now, there is a way where you go do and where you not go bring alarming taxes, yeah? Now, where you create job, every Sierra Leonean where they work, be it for the private or public sector, there is a way where you go pay tax to government. When there are many jobs, when companies then come. If a company they pay, for example, $500,000 per month only on tax, then you arranger in which you go pay only $250,000 per month on tax. Instead of one company, you go get 5 companies where go can nobody no go get monopoly competition go day, and you go create more jobs for Sierra Leoneans. That is what we are looking at.
On theory, on paper, a fantastic idea, but in reality, it's a much complex decision.
Now let me tell you something. The APC able to handle the economy effectively and efficiently. We did. When we came in 2007, we met the economic and business value of Sierra Leone at $220 million. By 2017, we don't increase to $553 or $7 million before we exited. We do that in this country. When I see there was a period where, I mean, the indebtedness almost go to negative, otherwise zero or negative, because we'll be able to generate income, not for borrow money too much, for the pay salaries, especially for support to budget. We do that. Where we come, you see the way the economy, in 2008 to 2009, you also see the global crisis we've been there. Global crisis on the prices of basic commodities and fuel. Fuel go up to $185 per barrel, but will be still keep her at 6,000 leones. That enough for say we are a serious government. So waiting Dr. Samura Kamara.
It came at a very high cost of subsidy. Yes,
now a serious government, we don't want for shelf the burden on the ordinary man. Because whenever then commodities and they win an essential commodity there, if you person they go Waterloo for go buy plazas, cancel and Dove Court. Now fuel you use because you get for take transport. If they go Mile 91, they go Kailan for go buy produce for cancel and free on a fuel. So when government no able to address them, no able to give enough subsidies to address them, at the end of the day, now the ordinary man go suffer. So when you're a welfare government like the APC, those are the things we look at. Okay. So it don't mean say we can't exempt tax completely, say nobody know they pay tax to country now, but go arrange the tax in which competition go day, monopoly no go day, then job creation go day.
Okay, Melvin, on this point of job creation taxes, it's very enticing on paper, but the reality is more. In fact, even the one them with the fund who donors them are now pushing more and more countries across Africa for make them generate more and more of their own revenue. So, how do you think a Samara Kamara administration will be able to balance the need for tax and the need not for tax the business community too much, and work with every player really?
It can be a tricky one, but being that somebody maybe don't did it, is supposed to get the experience. But again, see the ideological promise here that Sierra Leone for move from a consumer to a production economy. So these then two realities they are now faced with. We consume much, and when they produce less. So now it comes back to the question how you want to keep the balance, because if you look at another pillar, it's about strengthening economic partnership. Are you the balance that national and international partnership consideration? It not clearly spell out. And now that we though you say the full version therefore come out, I think say I will be restrained because there are so many things I may note that where I think say not be very, very clearly explained. But definitely there is no clear blueprint on that other than the promise.
And Ninks just say that they are a welfare government, and most of the time, a lot of countries in Africa can really get fantastic blueprints of what they want to do with the economy. But because we hand it too much on people, the more whether an IMF, whether an World Bank, or that Bretton Woods institution, and it means say it's not really almost always determined by us.
Unfortunately, and that's why they make policies, measures, laws for execute, for change the trend. And we are not clear on whether a law you can change, whether an institution you can establish, whether an existing structures you can revive or you can create new ones. It left so much ambiguity and uncertainty. And certainly, yes, many people are not say we need to get tailor-made solutions to the problems. Other countries they do them, so you ask yourself why we not do them. Is it as a result of lacking in a technical or technocratic idea, or is it that the political willingness is not there? So we have to identify the problem and then before you the promise. Because at the end of the day, one can tell you again, say, for example, unforeseen, like, and one of the other manifestos talk about unforeseen circumstances, risk arise, and you say because of this risk. So what you will call contingency plan versus the original promise? That's one, in it for be sacrosanct, and in this document, a lacking.
And you talk, Mikhail, you talk about the APC, future APC government could be a welfare government. And in terms of that welfare, I think there is a point where they talk about accelerating investment in people, where specifically they look at social spending, elevating the quality of life and things like that. Is there a target of how much could be set aside, or which specific area they want for investing? Education, health, what's in the priority here?
Yeah, I will respond to that, but I try for throw light on this way Melvin say, where we talk about tax and everything for fix the economy, wait till we get for can't do, why than a law we can't change. We know say they are already financial acts them, we know say policies then they. Where we come as government, the next government, when you say future, it seems far. We are taking over governance in the next couple of days.
Even after tomorrow, in the future.
Let us just say the next government to be more precise.
Well, we can't say that. We can't say that. There is still a vote to be done.
Yes, where we come, Melvin, we therefore look at some of the policies, we look at some of the acts them. That is why we have the law review, commission. When they review some of their laws and they take them back to Parliament for make sure say it fits to waiting week they can't do as a government.
What we have now, when I get MPs them, APC MPs in Parliament, they agree to that.
Yeah, but even as that, now in Parliament we know what to obtain. In some instances, even when the opposition is not ready, the government will always bulldoze it way. If the government can remove 10 MPs, elected MPs,
in these instances, government didn't.
No, but I'm saying what is possible, what I know. In some instances, even when the opposition is not willing, they will invoke certain laws that never exist, just so that they can bulldoze their way. But let me answer your question. We get specific areas of concern, we will get for spend. One, now for ensure say we address the too many angry now the country, on agriculture. The food sufficiency, very important. The tell SLPP been calm, they say, Tolongo no go sidoya angry boku. But now I believe say na angry pass mark. So if we want really address the sufferings of people, now for invest in agriculture and make sure say we get sufficient food in the country for let people eat. Now for ensure say SLPP they say, me and Imran don't sit on a boku platforms the way they say dendo exempt tax on basic food commodities. He say even rest, the one way they bring out, call some business enterprises, there, including PC and so on. He call the way government or the tax nothing. So if government or they take tax on rest, then well for the buyers up to 700,000 loans. If government or they take tax on oil, bars then after and they for there. So they look at all lengthing and they because now they make the suffering bokuna the country. They invest in Dande seriously. Invest in agriculture seriously. Government alone cannot do it. They attract companies that win agriculture, then they invest in. We're not the only decentralized, they make sure they will devolve. The time will be grow up, some of the provincial headquarters then be very attractive. They see people, they go there, when agriculture is then they get quarters then they get farms then. I think they will get for revert to Dande. That's one area. Two, they also spend in education. You know, the free quality education are a laudable venture where anybody no go criticize if you are a patriotic Sierra Leonean. But the challenge is then far too many. Yeah, where we come, we go address them challenges, and they will even increase them to university level.
So does that mean an increased spending in education compared to what we are spending now as a country?
It is possible that we will still manage the same money. We're not even sure. The last time when the president was interviewed, where you go per one UN General Assembly meeting, he say in report say that they spend almost $500 per kid per annum. We don't believe the government is supposed to spend $500 per kid per annum. $500 to Sierra Leone currency is about 10 or and above million leones. Yeah. So we get to address that seriously and make sure say the access to education it also extends to university level. Because now the most expensive education are university education. We need to know that.
When much of the language with the inside this copy of the manifesto what they see right now, we will invest seriously, we will look at them deeply, we will do this specifically, but there are no clear specifics. So for example, if we talk about spending on social services, you say when they spend a lot on education.
I have just told you agriculture.
Yes, and agriculture, but no,
some other areas.
Does this mean an increase in the budget allocation right now as it is?
It depends, because now something they will get for review. We are not in governance. Yeah.
But if they say you are ready to lead, it means
we are not in governance. We are not even sure of the budgetary allocation, the things that are in the budget.
These are things
we are not even sure. We are not even sure. We are not even sure. So that is more so the reason we are not sure. When I say we, I am referring to the APC. You may want to put forward an argument that in Parliament, which is an arm of government. Let me just say, please, yeah. Some of the things in the budget are unrealistic. I tell you. Because some allocations are not even made on first quarter until second or third quarter. Some are not made at all. Lord know dandy. In the budget, we are Sierra Leoneans first. Let us know that. When budget is being made, some ministries, departments, and agencies know they receive their allocation for first quarter, sometimes take second quarter. It overlap. By the 10th second quarter, they can. The second quarter money, they know receive until third quarter. Sometimes take the year around self, they know the receiver. Lord know dandy. It is not just a matter of drawing up a budget. Most of our expenditure are recurrent expenditures. They are not a capital expenditure. And where APC can be more often than not, you see, now capital expenditure. Would they invest in things then where tangible, where every Sierra Leoneans they see, where then they appreciate, where they serve the country for a very long time. So we not go say the money what then they spend per education will come because we don't say they increase to university level. We can't spend more than that. Maybe the one way then they claim say then they spend, we go able to manage and for like address both junior secondary school, senior secondary school, and university.
Okay, Melvin. Of course, and this is the thing. So every time when the opposition they make an argument, they tend for disassociate themselves completely from what's happening in the country. But meanwhile, they get MPs who don't participate in these decisions where governments don't make.
And that's not the sad reality where the main opposition, APC, not go run away from. If you look at the 5th Parliament, then start with them get majority, after which the decision of the court, and that was lowered. And again, by elections due to demises of several MPs, we see them come back as majority. However, I think at the heart of the question, and then how do processes were followed, how the law was applied, what were the gaps in the laws, how the main opposition reacts to the situation, and were they man enough, even if they were man enough, were they having the numbers? So then go get escape routes them, but you need to forget that technical foresight for escape that, because at the end of the day, there is no way the APC cannot say they were not part of governance or they are not part of governance. For the fact that we know they had councils under their control, we know in Parliament they had, fairly, the majority, though not that kind of majority for change anything significant, and think perhaps that's something I know for look at the next elections coming, how and when will they give one party then can empower them they, and how, for me, that's what I look for, how cross-party dialogue for apply. So APC go come with the solutions, though for me in this case they are half-baked until we see the full documents. But nonetheless, enough for some, like I said earlier on, sometimes they tell you what they want for do. But in other times, they will tell you, say, we intend for do this, but they tell you, say, a couple will come off for go into that. And I don't think so for belay about that until we see the full breakdown document. So they cannot distance themselves from opposition, from governance, that now one, but again, how governance been treated them as opposition while in opposition is also something to be considered.
Are there things in developing programs really for government, for the opposition? You used to say there are things they could learn from parliamentarians who have been there and seen closely how government works.
Of course, I would hope that, these manifesto committees across the two major parties, therefore we don't do consultation with the parliamentary arms, because then MP then unfortunately they are buffeted on nomination, so they not get that time for putting that in sense and sabi, because they already get the gaps, they already know which are the problem them, they already get oversight committee reports, they already read the laws, they already make new laws and amend old ones. So the experience for me, for BB, very much valid in the manifesto construction process, because if there are anybody who know the problems of Sierra Leone, MPs they know them best. So wherein the insights now look seemingly available in some of them documents, it will be very problematic for implementation.
If you just join me, this is the Epic Morning Show, and this morning we are dissecting the APC manifesto as presented for now. And when we come next, we will look into their plans of fighting corruption and more. Welcome back. This is the Epic Morning Show. They come to live here on Epic Radio 99.3 FM, and this morning we are looking through the APC manifesto. Michael, let us now go to enhancing democratic and good governance and the rule of law, a pillar as well. I think that pillar 7 on our manifesto. I want to specifically talk about corruption, because for so many times when I don't condemn what ACC done they do, and much of the prosecution against former APC officials, when I don't describe them as witch hunt, what you want to go do differently?
You know, one of the fundamental pillars of the SLPP manifesto and waiting President Bio really propel the fight against corruption, curbing in discipline. Because to me, corruption self back now in discipline. So now two convenient bedfellows. Yeah. Corruption only means a positive money. Some actions and inactions of an individual, when a manager, a director, in a certain institution, the amount of corruption. Like on they are so, if they employ people not based on competence but sentiment, when they go against the core values of this institution, and corruption and this. So the corruption is endemic. We don't view and say the SLPP is not serious about fighting corruption. When they come waiting and do them back on witch hunting.
Global ranking has increased.
Now witch hunting, these are things that can be, they can be fixed. There are things that can be fixed. Yeah, they can be compromised.
Is there an evidence
I tell you,
to
yes.
that?
I tell you, we are on the ground. What is happening, what obtains in Sierra Leone is no strange to us. We there. A lot of things happen.
So will you say accolades where APC being get at the time? Will you say
COVID
they were
fixed? Yes. Because in the APC government, even the one that will fall short, we see arrest, we see sacking of ministers. We see arrest of ministers. We see people at the APC government where they sack for corruption. We see people where they arrest and detain. We see people where they run trial during President Nkrumah. And you're very ministers. We have not seen any in this government. We don't see the audit reports them for several years. We see how money then the way they don't eat. We see how corrupt the government don't demonstrate for the corrupt. Whose action President Bio ever take or the ACC boss ever take?
There is a question of moral high ground here as well. Given the scale of revelation the way Commission of Inquiry show, you feel say party get the moral high ground for fight corruption?
We party not only get the moral high ground for fight corruption, yeah. We party is equally appreciated globally, yeah, and the people of Sierra Leone also appreciate it because that's good corruption effect. What will come for us, the law where ACC been they work with, say we review the law. We make sure say the act to give ACC more powers so that you go able to run independently. We do that. Then aside that, you see most of the time anybody with them mention in name na audit report or where something come, even if na journalist then conduct investigation, would they pursue that person they say until it go prove himself innocent in court. We see the cases are many. During Ernest by Nkrumah in era. But in this government, somebody will tell you about SUVs, no SUVs, the purchase of them. During the COVID-19 been sidom. At the end of the day, nothing. People then they argue, government officials, they argue on television, say this now SUV, now old SUVs then go buy. The one they say now new SUVs then buy. We see all landing. We see Transparency International, the way how they expose government We don't see all of that. We don't see the audit report, the way they expose government, the way they expose state institutions, departments and agencies, plus ministries. We don't see no action being taken. So they are not serious. But let me come to the APC. That is my concern here. Yeah. You see how ready for Fed corruption. We say now one of the things that they can address. Now, I think say APC don't demonstrate and they very seriously. When President Bio bin come, he say they can block leakages. Instead of it block leakages, now streams they create. Corruption don't become endemic. They can't try for ensure say we address all of that adequately. Yeah. Now, would they make sure say the audit report is followed to the latter? For me, if no more ACC want for Fed corruption, just take the audit report. All you want the way they name that the audit report, pursue them, investigate them. That is one way for Fed corruption. I make we get institutions there. If we don't create the office of the Auditor General, Audit Service Sierra Leone, they doing job, they will come. This same Audit Service Sierra Leone, now in the SLPP be rely on more often than not for the, chastise the APC, the way they be in opposition. Lara Tilopias was highly rated by the SLPP, they be the praiser, they be regarded for being independent, but where he can now, as he take investigation to the office of the president, then blacklist her. That is also very wrong. So where we come, we know they do all of them in corruption also in employment. We go make sure say the civil service commission is treated seriously. Employment will not be based on tribe and region. It will be based on qualification and competence. These are all corruption issues where we get for can address as a government. We go also take out to the school systems, especially to the university system. Where we come, go to see institutions that we not recognize globally, fake institutions, they not go there. All that are corruption. We go address that. Even the one that they do business. They go come, you pay tax at a low rate, and you want for sell food, very dear, basic food commodities are very dear. All landing at corruption. Where you come, they put the burden on the people. If government don't exempt tax on basic food commodity, government for try for find way for control price in a way the ordinary Sierra Leone are not going to suffer. All of them and they fall under that particular component to get for address.
Welcome back. This is the Epic Morning Show. We're sorry for that HCA. The light situation at Leicester Epic is terrible. But I'm going to hear from the public now. Let's hear from you, 0799949993. You've been listening to us this morning. Let's go and call us and let's hear your thoughts on some of the conversation we have been having about the APC manifesto this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Jawad. Good morning, peaceful Sierra Leoneans.
Yes, Father Lambert.
Lambert on CRS graphics. And Jared, I want to ask me, panelists reading with you from the All People's Congress. This manifesto we they make, why not even complete all the manifesto for we that now one? Don't you the sky for action, how then they first against corruption? In they say they don't come for first against corruption no more like so. Then you still ask how do we manage the economic for this agriculture and education business. They say that is anyway. Then get all implemented and they don't implement from 2007 to 2012. Now this is how they want to implement that. Yeah, please let them give chance. That would be big.
All right.
Yeah.
Let we hear it from more people as well. If you have specific questions as well, put them through. 07999499993. Good morning.
Yeah, Lawrence from IMAC.
Lawrence, you're welcome.
Yeah, brother, APC, they will wait for leakage from SLPP. I mean, they not be done knowing the manifesto. But, brother Mikalu, I'm glad the way you do not accept say free quality education is real. We not endorse that now. But as you say, now fake reality when I thought we not go implement to university. We not there so be saying na primary school na 5,000 if we not be pay. We not left so bad debts at primary school level. We not left debt na Likonkwi. We not left debt na Waeke na Sana. We not able subsidy na university. We not able to. We not left debt in na SLPP can say how not go able to. Then number two, we are say we not the fight corruption. Why Peter Conte be say Samuel get corruption case? Make a fight afford before that. They will not think endorse this post where we say a get corruption case for making some as presidential candidate. They don't get a corruption case on that side. How comes that would not go fight corruption? Well, even not flag that get corruption case, they would not rally behind that. So it is fake. It is unacceptable. We not go accept the constitution and they.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I want to hear from more people. And while we speak, the full version of the APC manifesto is out now and it's in circulation. 83 pages. I'm just flipping through them. Hopefully we'll get some chance for us, Mikhail, some more questions on them. Good morning. Hello. Hello. All right. I think that caller no say he is live on air. 07999499993. Let's hear from more people. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jawad. Malaika, the call from Kangas for.
Malaika, welcome.
Yeah, well, actually, this is something done by people with charisma. In fact, when they talk about asking questions, how? Of course, don't forget that man had been a technocrat. So with all that experience that he don't receive from their area, then they now a politician, I believe that them people and they blend together the problem to solve anyway. So I thank him very much. The manifesto is spot. I appreciate them. Now we see now the implementation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me hear from more people here on the APC manifesto as we are dissecting through it this morning. 0799949993. Good morning. Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, just be audible for we a bit. You're welcome, sir.
Yes, somebody they talk about some corruption case. They realize, an accused is, observed as innocent until found guilty. Since no court not find that man guilty, yes, go talk to against corruption case, so it corrupt. When they talk about parliament, then they contribute to. We all know how we parliament they work. The parliamentary reporter Yanda go able to testify to that. Always the speaker of the house will belong to government. Now he get the last thing. Then he brings something up. They argue on that. All those in favor say aye. All those in favor say nay. The one that were in favor, they say aye. Not small voice.
Thank you.
That they always say the aye have it. So not to.
Thank you very much. Let's keep it 60 seconds, 799949993. And let me hear from more people here, 0799949993. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Brother Jawad. Med from Hastings.
Mohammed from Hastings, go on.
Yeah. Brother Jawad, the APC, no get any new thing where them they tell we. Then we don't put manifesto in this country where powerful past this, right? So what in the way them be done they in 10 or 11 good years where they not been doing where them go and can do now. If una don't govern this country for over 10 years, una not do them things then they. Now una go can do them. Pami can say the devil woman sabi a better pastor angel will not sabi President Leona the best president for this country inside this election 2023, and then we go vote for overwhelmingly. Thank you very much, Brother Jawad. Let APC they relax. Let them go drink cold water.
All right, thank you very much. Let me hear from more people. So, of course, opinions are divided depending on political standing of callers. Good morning.
Yes, Jawad.
Yes, Bumper.
Yes, Jawad. Well, we are listening, waiting Dr. Samura talk, waiting in Kali the talk. As we say, we see the light at the end of the tunnel. Because when you look at the angle Dr. Samura tried for pick up about human capital, how in the try for city they use them, the need manpower, and try for empower them. And when you look at it again, when you talk about drugs, you say no good for young man then. And that's true. This course, it means like a case study. The way you look about say it complements the free quality, but when you can do that, it can add value to what the tertiary. You know, saying that they're difficult now. People don't see plenty and don't see this one. But they don't get the money for going and look now the cost. So in they can't reduce them because you see people in the stay in one land, but the way no they. And when you look about the way in they can tackle the economy, you don't really know say now we use products then. Now in they can add value now towards the market.
Thank you very much, Bumper. I want to hear from 3 more callers as we continue conversation here around the APC manifesto 0799949993. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm John from Jones.
Welcome, John.
Yeah, I think listening to Minkailu and Dr. Samura Kamara say, I think for now, that technocrat we need, like Dr. Samura Kamara for full wheel and this mess will deeper. But let me say something to Martin Minkailu. The President, Excellency, he will say parents then they save $500 now because of the introduction of the free education. See the money with them we forget for pay for fees or blah blah blah. So then they save that one day. So he left to the public for let and tell we if they receive that money day or not. But just like we you see, the full version don't come on now. We go look then we will comment.
Okay.
John from John Street.
Thank you very much, John. 2 more calls, and then I'm going to go straight to my panelist here, 799949993. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Gerard.
Yes, name also the call we from.
Concerned citizens CRS.
Yes.
Jawad, now I just want you vital information to will cause problems, to will kill people, and that I just want to give that information.
Well, we hope not. Go on.
We get sites now by this Guma gate now inside that Guma drive. Don't the one tanker did with this tanker it don't fast him, it hang. It don't hang if it because it don't still begin cuts. The tire with the offset don't begin so if you see cuts, it go keep people and don't.
Petrol tanker you mean? Petrol tanker you mean? Fuel tanker.
Now I think water tanker. Something like water tank. Yes, but now big tanker. If you see it go down, now it go keep people in.
Okay. By Guma gate.
The tire with the up, it don't suspend already. If you see cuts, it go down, it go keep people in.
All right.
That information that I still have passed to you.
Thank you very much for sharing that information. We hope emergency services around could listen to that and actually try and prevent that. I'm putting one last call through, and then I'm going to come straight to my panel here. Good morning.
Hello. Yeah, good morning.
Name also the call we from.
I call from Hill Station. So from all the manifesto where Mikhailo don't they put across, I don't think it's any reality there for the common Sierra Leoneans.
Why is that?
Reason being, the man where they fight for be president, if they don't they in the helm of appear for this country more than 40 years. Whose impact it creates now the little Sierra Leonean their life, even na your hometown we say come on Kamalo. Waiting at the point let Mikhailo tell me before ever they come on that video. I beg, let's tell me. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Our caller from Hill Station. Melvin, I'm going to start with you. I know we've been browsing very quickly through the full detail of the APC manifesto, which is out, which we'll have to look and dissect a bit further. But from the things them way you don't hear callers and they make, especially about, Mikhail mentioned how they get for fed corruption and how the Auditor General, the way they get for treats the reports will be different. But they had a chance to do so during the last regime, and it took 10 years Parliament not take any serious action on the Auditor General's reports during the last regime. And sadly, the same thing is continuing now.
And that should say the APC get big work for do in terms of them publicity, campaign outfits, and the messaging. It's good that some of the things I want to ask, I don't see some of them on the documents, but then duty that for popularize them. But I think as journalists, it's clear waiting the people in the talk is that waiting at the assurance that the APC go come and can deliver where they're not being delivered. So ideologically, the election is going to be about continue with the new direction, or you change to waiting the APC they call the right direction. And in this right direction now, I think from waiting people and they say, I don't know if that the late way the manifesto come out late, they are seem for be from the public opinion, though divided, but it seems as if the skeptics they're more in number. Although again, this is an election term, everybody got your strategy as to how to approach the media and communications. But definitely, from waiting me in Kailo they talk, all we need for dissect now is not the how of the APC versus the how of the SLPP.
On that question of corruption, how if to say they could use a better strategy? Do you think they could use a better strategy to fighting corruption compared to what we have now?
Well, again, you have to talk about the independence of the institution first, and the mindset we get for emerge if there's going to be any transition. How the power get for transfer? If you get for transfer, get for do it all the issue then day, because we see in 2018. The fight against corruption starts with the GTT report, and we see the content of the report, how it get for impact lives of political parties and politicians for the rest of the day until now. So the approach and the mood post-election, it get for do a lot with the implementation and the execution in the absence of when. Most times when they go for do, I mean, not stated. Now we see snippets of how in some cases. So in the fact that you are not proposing new structures. How are you going to strengthen those old structures where already there are existing mistrust over them? When our structures them where 10 years the APC will not manned, where 5 years people are not manned, many people would say, you say we don't see much change. So what is going to be impressive so much that people will convince, say, all right, this we believe. And that is the struggle, not only for the APC, also for the SLPP. For now, the APC manifesto with the detail on, if you can begin put the all two together, somebody go ask himself, then waiting at the difference. Because from what we see now, they are almost speaking, for example, when it talks about constitution, they're all talking about a new constitution. When? Nobody is saying that. So let me not feel saying that the APC in manifesto also not get so many clarities. So same thing for be said about the SLPP. But the fact here remains that the APC get a lot of work for do for change mindsets, change the electorate, the perception that if you not do in 10 years, with no difference you can do in 5 years. That is huge. It takes a lot of politicking, it takes a lot of I don't know. That's why politics is not an easy business, I'm sure.
Mikhailo, you don't hear it from a lot of callers then, but before we come to them, there's this issue we want to talk about creating green jobs, climate change for making a deal with them. As we are speaking now, we are in the middle of a conversation about sanitation in Freetown. Every time rain comes, the streets and the flood. Much of it's because of so many factors. So how do I intend really for tackle that particular challenge?
One of the ways for COB, the sanitation problem na Freetown na for ensure say you get rules and regulations, council for do bylaws, and then bylaws then
they
now therefore be enforceable. Yeah, at times then laws then can they, but they're not enforceable. In fact, then for give them more powers. There was a period when Herbert George Williams was mayor of Freetown. Me not be student at Frabe College around 2007, 2008, 9 or so. Where you heap dirty, if you pass, if you get drink water, if you heap the plastic now gone, you pay 100,000 fine. At that time, we all buy taxes. I pay for local tax 5,000 leons. At that time, I be student. The city been clean. A lot of things be there. Even Akisoya, they do a lot. In terms of keeping the city clean, in terms of rebuilding Freetown's image. But I think we need to go back to their bylaws and they improve on them and enforce them. Because we're in the camp, they see possibly pull dirty in Oscanto and a gutter. And then dirty, then they block the drainages, they block the water, they make places and they flood. So we really need to change the mindset of Freetonians and make sure we get rules and regulations or laws them where we for enforce. That's one way for curb the sanitation condition.
That enforcement means giving more power to local council. Something we want to talk about when I talk about decentralization and all of that. But this is the problem, and it's not just an APC or SLP government problem. More and more governments in this country not they willing for let go of some of the powers they wouldn't get.
They go say they decentralize, but they devolve the functions appropriately. And devolution of functions to local government are one of the things we go prioritize. Because central government no go able to do everything. Certain things you get for allow the local government for do them. You get for allow them for operate freely and then forget the powers for enforce the laws there without interference from central government. Now, one of the things that I know they can do by God in power, if you get the opportunity for serve and become the next government in the next couple of days. Now, I'll go to the callers then. A lot of callers make some critical comments, and I think respectfully, I want to answer them one after the other.
Go on.
Once a delay or belated publication of manifesto, yeah? They say we delay in the publication of our manifesto. Yesterday at Lagunda, we tell them say we give the abridged version. When I summary of the whole manifesto, we contain about 10 pillars for make a whet on our appetite. But today we go release a full version of the manifesto. We don't do that. Let know that they clearly say, we as a party know when and how for release to manifesto. We actually do it on purpose and we believe say we'll get them right. One thing we Melvin don't make and we don't take into serious account now for embark on serious popularization of this manifesto. What they do now? And the next couple of weeks, now then they will get for DIPA, so that people will be able to judge between the APC manifesto and the SLPP, which one actually then go buy and which presidential candidates then go vote for. And fighting corruption. Somebody be say, APC say then they fight corruption, but also they be done they all along. He talk about Dr. Samura Kamara, the accusation. He talk about Alfred Peter Conte. Law no say somebody don't already talk and accused is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a competent court of law. I tell you now, so we SLPP can and bring the GTT, Government Transition Team Report. They accuse the APC and the APC stalwart. Their plan was to kill the APC, but they don't know, say, even if 100% people, exit the APC, you get 1,000 more where they emerge. So you cannot kill the APC. So with all of that, those are allegations against Dr. Samura Kamara. Some of them are baseless. So let nobody use that as a yardstick. As for Peter Conte, it's a whole story altogether. I don't even want to talk about Anaya. So let me just jump down there. The other one, they say free quality education to university level. They say ambiguous. They say we not going to do them. And now we don't appreciate the free quality education. A state at inception say any sober government go support free education. But how free is this free education? That is the question where everybody for asks. I know they have for assess the free quality education when our SLPP flagship program. I think yesterday I've been listening to Epic Nanet. When I be play one jingle, when our SLPP jingle, when I paid for jingle.
Yeah.
I think say any political party get it right for bring can jingle here and pay for it.
Yeah.
When I go play. I also been listening to Honorable Tawa. I think I be there on
Yes.
SLPPR.
Yeah.
I listen to most of the things that we say. We as a party don't they follow and we don't they assess and we get alternative plans. So most of the things that we then put forward to Sierra Leoneans. We go Canaya, we go pay for airtime, and we say we can talk comprehensively on the manifesto.
We'll be looking forward to
Let
that.
people know that day. Yeah. Then I want somebody they say Dr. Samura Kamara na technocrat. Somebody called from Brazak or so. Yesterday, Dr. Samura Kamara make an abundantly clear. He said they came in as novices. We are coming in as experts. You understand? Or technocrats. Law no than they say. Dr. Samura Kamara, yes, somebody said oh for 40 years as financial secretary, as bank governor, as minister of finance, as minister of foreign affairs, then presidential candidate for the All People's Congress. He said, what did Samura do? What he knew? We go and can do now, we not be don't do. I want to know, say, when Samura Kamara was minister of finance or bank governor in 2007, the APC be made the monetary value of Sierra Leone economic and business activities at 5 trillion, and we be increased it to 30 trillion loans. Now under Samura Kamara in watch, where Ernest Koreman have been president, we mean say we add another 25 trillion loans to the economic and business value of Sierra Leone. Now under Dr. Samura Kamara, we do that day. So if the people don't know, let them know that day. We took over in 2007, revenue where this country be generates now at around 500 trillion, where we come 500 million, will come billion loans, will come by 2017, we left at 4 trillion loans. So the thing the way we do under Samura Kamara as financial secretary, bank governor, minister of finance, Iboku, but time no good day for that talk on all land. Like I say, I go to the other callers there, but you want to give that person the two things them make it aware, say the APC be able to achieve a lot during the time Dr. Samura Kamara na be minister of finance. And when I be bank governor, and when I be in financial secretary, he do a lot under Tijan Kaba, they do a lot under Ernest Baikoma also. He said the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. I agree. If the people let me know say SLPP now this kind of way, then they can wreck the economy, relegate this country to the gutters. They not for don't vote for them, they for don't remain with the APC. Indeed, the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. So go back to the devil you know. That is the APC.
Are you saying you are the devil?
If that is what they are referring to. If you say the angel, the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. If the APC was the devil at that time from 2007 to 2017, then SLPP is the angel. So the people should go back to the devil.
Well, currently, because you're not in opposition, now the angel.
No, that is not it. So it is going to be the reverse. Okay. Let them come to us.
All right.
We are going to make this country a better place. Bumper today, go in depth in making analysis. I appreciate her for that day. Parents saving 500 United States dollars. I state that they say the president bin go now one UN General Assembly meeting. He go talk say government they spend $500 per kid within a school. We mean say parent and they save $500. So if a parent and they save $500, especially when are rainy season, the economic condition very steep for them, let them use that money they now for sort themselves out if they really did saver. The reality, he has been at the end of affairs. Somebody back they say waiting at the reality in the manifesto. Dr. Samura don't at the end of affairs for over 40 years. I think I don't talk on that comprehensively. Some of the things that we've been do, the tell we be there at the end of affairs. Laudable, and that make the APC choose them for be with standard bearer and presidential candidate for the next election. We believe, say, Dr. Samura Kamara get all it takes. Not only Dr. Samura Kamara, he has a running mate. We don't take 15 years now. We get vast knowledge. The experience where you get where you don't serve in a parliament for 15 years. There's nothing about governance where you don't sabi. because all the laws, all the policies, all the engagement are through parliament in the past. Now, a very, very, very significant arm of government, Nandi. So we take somebody from the executive arm, we get about 30 years experience. Somebody from the legislative arm, we get about 15 years experience, all put together, and that is about 55 years experience with the bring them into governance now.
And the question now is, this is not a new team. This is a team we run at the time when we get power in 2018, and they still lost. Which guarantee?
That is natural. That is natural.
It will be different this
time.
That
is natural. Yeah. We get two major political parties in Sierra Leone. When you go to the United Kingdom, you go talk about the Labour and the Conservative. In the USA, they talk about the Democrats and the Republicans. No one political party, they dominate the scene for far too long. No, naturally, people can want a change, forget another taste of another government. So if that not be the decision where people then be take, say APC when I go wait first, love it try SLPP, they don't make the assessment now. So it not mean say if they be run 2017 and not win, they're not going to win, or they run 2018 and not win, and not going to win 2023. The people don't make the assessment. But me, they tell them, say, the best decision we then go make now for vote Dr. Samura Kamara as president and Honorable Chano Ramadan Majuba as vice president, respectively.
Okay.
Because we are bringing in 55 years of experience, 15 from parliament and 30 from 45 years and 30 from the executive arm of government.
Melvin, as we wrap up now, APC have been putting forward the talk about experience a lot, whether not Cherry Cook experience or Samura Kamal experience, and at sometimes they don't use that experience there as well. The other side have also used it for flag them with that particular cane. They say they have so much experience, they've been in governance for so long, and in a way they are also complicit for saloning situation at the moment. How we feel to say then we will get out of that particular argument there?
Well, definitely they need expert political communicators. They need people, I think they need more Minkailus for go about and tell people exactly what they will understand rather than just the literature. It's about the reality. But of course, that not for negates the reality that the media also not for checkmate the house, where the sources of revenue, and what actually will be done, and that I don't think we do. With regards to the messages, I think people will forget that time the political parties don't be elated and forget people and the opportunity this time around for know the content or the purpose of the manifesto and how realistic it be. And family and forget the time for listen or watch, and for you to read, compare, and contrast, and ask yourself how realistic it be. And with that, I think we are moving on track. Yes, the process they unfold, and so many talk about Samura Kamara. I don't want to venture into that. We already know what we know, and yes, he's running for the presidential ticket of the APC. APC is a major political party, and again, you put that into comparison with that of President Mada Bio. Experience cannot be all that it is, because for the fact that SLPP team will easily argue that okay, Mr. Bio also done in governance, the other day will be get Imran and make instead we make an eloquent case on that experience. I think what in Sierra Leoneans they want for C is not the experience, because the experience is not sweet from the Sierra Leoneans, the mindset. The experience with the current status quo is not sweet for many people. The experience previously not sweet. So I think the Sierra Leoneans are in that dilemma, order for trust in this case. And in building that trust, you need a lot of communication, engagement, and consolidation for make.
Thank you very much, Melvin Tijanman, sorry for being here with us as well. Mikhail Kuroma as well from the All People's Congress. Stay with me. This is the Epic Morning Show. When we come next, we're going to talk to more people, civil society activists, for get their reaction on the APC manifesto and some of the programs that are being put forward. Sports entertainment is also on the way. This is the Epic Morning Show. We're also live on Facebook, Slick TV, and on radio on 99.3 FM.